Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita from Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
Today is episode 90. Wow, 90 already.
Wow.
I know. And today we're going to talk about something near and dear to my heart, champagne taste on a beer budget.
I think we all do that.
Oh, now let's dive into the champagne glass or the beer mug.
I don't think there's a drink that you use champagne. I bet you there is, but I don't know of it, where you have champagne and beer together.
Oh, there's probably something.
Yeah, there's probably something. I know of some beers that have like a champagne-y taste, and maybe that's what we're going for today.
Yeah, because mixing your highs and lows could be a champagne beer mashup.
Absolutely. So who wants to start off with, let's talk about how to get that beautiful champagne taste on that beer budget.
Well, let me start by saying I definitely have champagne tastes. I know that every time I'll go someplace.
I think we all do.
Yeah, to pick something out. I've always picked the one that is the most expensive. You know, like if I was blindfolded, I would still know the one that was the most expensive.
You could sniff it out.
You just know. When you've been doing this a long time, I think, too, you kind of feel.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I'm a total cheapo. I mean, frugal is a nice word. Maybe discerning is probably the best word that I would like to use. But cheapo and frugal come to mind as well. Thrifty. I hardly ever pay retail. If I pay retail, it's got to be really, really worth it. So
I will for special things, absolutely.
Yes, but it's few and far between where I don't have a price tag that's had some slashes through it.
I'll say,
marked
Bobby,
in
look
red.
what I got for $39.99. It's worth $800.
Exactly.
And he'll say to me, Yvonne, it's worth $39.99. That's what you paid for it.
But I've even trained my girls, like especially like clothing shopping, which is, you know, kind of where they're at in their lives right now. You go right to the back of the store, girls. That's where the sales are. You know, like don't start in the front of Anthropologie. Go to the back.
Oh, good tip.
My secret is consignment stores. And it's not just consignment stores. In Houston, there's a lot of thrift stores that take consignment items. So people always ask me, how do you get such amazing things at the thrift store? Well, it's not a regular thrift store I'm going to. I'm going to typically a thrift store in a high-end part of town, and it accepts consignment. If they do not accept consignment items, then really most of the things I found tend to have broken legs and things chipped off and broken glass, and they tend to require a lot of work to make them, you know, doable in your home. But if you go to a place that accepts consignment, I've found Spode dishes, I've found Limoges, I've found French chairs, French vanities. I found really what probably should have been about a $600 French mirror for $125.
Aren't you the one that followed somebody in that was bringing Bergère chairs into the thrift store?
Well, that was actually in an antique mall. But that's the thing I was going to say is, you know, it's not just the thrift stores. If you go to, there's a lot of consignment stores that are fabulous. And the thrift stores and the consignment stores typically have a markdown system. So after 30 days, it gets marked down a little bit, you know, 60 days, a little bit more of a markdown. So you can check those, but if it's something really good, you better grab it because it's probably not going to be around. But yes, also, and then also if, like you were saying, that was actually an antique mall. So sometimes there's some antique places that have great prices, even though they're a store. So, you know, you're just going to have to go in your area and snoop around to find places.
Find some very unique and beautiful things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more work, obviously. I mean, if you're just going to walk into the store and plonk it down for the, you know, the retail price, you know, that's easy. You know, it's really not as much fun either. So, you know, if you enjoy
you love the hunt, Kelly.
I love the hunt. And so if you enjoy the thrill of the hunt, you can have champagne tastes on a beer budget and a champagne look at your own home.
Well, here's the thing too, on antiques and vintage things. The thing is, that a lot of times they're just not selling for what they used to. I mean, that, like they say, a lot of the big box furniture stores have really hurt the antique furniture market. So it's good news and bad news. It's bad news if you're a dealer, but it's good news if you're a buyer. So you can usually find a vintage or antique piece for a lot less than you could have 10 years ago.
Oh, that's good. That's really good news for us, isn't it? Here's what I'm going to say. Know what makes the real deal so special that it's that expensive.
Right. And which goes along with you need to look at the real expensive stuff so that when you're looking at the cheap stuff, you're going to know what has that expensive look. And kind of like when
absolutely.
Right. So the people that work in the Treasury Department, they study the real thing, spend a lot of time looking at a real dollar bill so that when they see a fake, they can spot it.
Well, I worked in a bank. And that's what we had to do. I went to bank school for 2 weeks between college and my first teaching job. And we studied what makes like a $20 bill a real $20 bill. And so you can spot a fake. And I think jewelers do that too. They know what makes the diamond and beautiful jewelry look real, and they can spot a fake.
Well, right. So go to these. It's definitely worth your time to go to some expensive antique stores. If you're not going to buy, do some research there and check out the pieces so that you know what these expensive pieces look for. I spend so much time in antique stores, kind of an embarrassing amount of time. But now when I go to the thrift store, when I see,
you know what you're looking for.
I know what I'm looking at. I know what it's worth, and I know what's worth grabbing, and I know what I should just keep walking past.
And this is such a good, I'm not a big, I don't really particularly love to shop, but I do like looking at decor. So I'll go into those really little boutique designer stores that have things that are outrageously expensive. And this is sort of my secret. And I don't wear like my jeans and a t-shirt or my uniform day. You know what I'm saying? Like my jeans and a white shirt or something. I'll get a little more dressed up and I'll go in, and they don't know who you are. And I'll just,
everybody knows who you are.
I'll just look around. I mean, now you know my secret. And I'll look around like I know what I'm looking for. And I take my time. That is an open shop to the public. And I want to say, so many people are like, oh, I don't want to go in there.
Do you wear dark glasses or anything?
I always wear dark glasses, honey. I always have my sunglasses on. But don't be afraid to go in those shops. Look around. And first of all, a lot of them are so extremely overpriced. But look at what they have, because some of the things they have are just very good quality. And, ask questions. They don't need to know whether you're buying something or just looking. Now, don't frequent that place once a week. They'll catch on.
You're casing it out.
But I'm going to even
with a big
tell
handbag.
you, go to Crate and Barrel, Pottery Barn. Now, they're sort of mid-price, but if I can get away with it, I even try to go less than that. You know what I'm saying? Go to, I know Ballard Designs now have beautiful flagships. Go wherever you have nice furniture stores, go and spend a little time and look at their decor, look at their furniture, look at what they're known for. And then try to figure out what it is that makes, I love very, very, very beautiful, expensive pillows. And usually there's two things I've noticed. It's, first of all, the make is impeccable, but I can get just as beautiful a make. Ballard Designs, whoever does their pillows, physically makes them beautifully. When I get a Ballard design pillow, I know it's going to be just gorgeous. Then the fabric is usually very expensive fabric, but that's easy to fake. It really is. And the other thing is the embellishing.
Oh, yes. I'm making some gorgeous pillows, and I picked out this gorgeous fringe and some other things from Calico Corners, and they are so extravagant. And really, it's those trims that make a pillow look really special.
Yeah. So what it makes. That's exactly
so if you just have
right.
a plain, simple finish and there's no piping, there's no trims or anything, it does end up looking a little, sometimes it can look a little sad or boring. So yeah, you can.
So if there's something that you love, and for me it's pillows, or I like a great accent table, know what makes those accent tables so expensive? Like, or if they're hand painted, it's so easy to learn how to paint and put a beautiful finish on something. Know what it is and then find a cheaper version, but find the elements in that cheaper version, or at least a couple of them that make it look more expensive.
Right. And you know how we're talking about going in these stores to see these gorgeous looks and see if you can replicate them for cheap. The other thing you can do is look in magazines. And I am so excited because a friend of ours, Courtney, from My French Country Cottage, is now the editor of Romantic Homes magazine.
Congratulations. It couldn't be a nicer person.
And actually, that's French Country Cottage.
Fantastic fit.
Oh, yes. Courtney from French Country Cottage.
Yeah. So we're so excited for her. And the magazine is beautiful. And so many of our friends are in it. So it's fun seeing their gorgeous homes in there, too.
So we're just saying, go out and buy Romantic Homes. It's totally been redone. And I just think it looks really upscale and fresh.
Oh, yes.
And still romantic. I think Courtney did a gorgeous job. And a lot of our designer friends are in it. You actually see part of Courtney's home in it.
It's on the cover.
Oh, I know. It's just beautiful. And our friend Kari Ann from Thistlewood, she is the design expert, and she's amazing. She is.
Or is she so close to amazing?
So close. Yeah, she's having a book coming out in September. So close to amazing. And we'll talk about that. But treat yourself. And Courtney, we're just thrilled and happy, and we just love you. So congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations.
Yeah, you did well by it. You did well. It's beautiful.
Yvonne mentioned side tables and whatnot. I have found that Amazon is an incredible source for a lot of things you wouldn't expect it to be an incredible source for. Yes. In fact, I just did a post recently about side tables, nesting tables in particular, that I found on Amazon. So I was working with a client of mine, and I was looking for, she is now in an apartment. I think I've mentioned.
Is it free Prime shipping?
And if you're a Prime member.
If you're a Prime member.
And if you happen to be on there purchasing one of our books, then you could just look for side tables. Plug.
There's 2 books on Amazon here. That's right.
Anyway, I'm looking for nesting tables, and I just, surfing around trying to give her some ideas of what I was thinking. And I wanted something for her in sort of an antiqued gold brassy look, sort of open, because I don't want it to have a big visual footprint, and with some glass. So how can you go wrong with those 2 materials? It's not hand painted. It's not carved. It's not, so it's very basic really when you think about the materials. So you could go into one of these high-end boutiques with Yvonne when she's dressed up like Jackie O, got all her jewels and her dark glasses on, and you could be perusing, and you could say, okay, that set of 3 gold and glass nesting tables, $1,200. Okay, that wouldn't make me fall on the floor.
Like, what makes that look good?
Right. I wouldn't buy it at $1,200, but it's not out of the realm of reality that it could be priced at that cost in a boutique.
For me, it is.
But that it's not.
Yeah,
crazy,
I understand what you're saying.
Right? Someone could say, "Oh, yes," because to the uninitiated, the people that don't listen to decorating tips and tricks and don't have great friends to give them advice like you guys have by listening here, they might think, oh, well, 3 tables, that's like $400 a table. It's the nesting. It looks pretty. It's exactly what I want. It's a good size. I'm going to purchase that for $1,200. Well, they would be so silly because you could get the exact same thing on Amazon for less than $250.
Yes.
And
you say, don't be a silly nilly.
Don't be a silly nilly.
That's right.
Look around. I was really amazed because I always think of Amazon sort of as, books, and I order my rinse agent for my dishwasher, and I get school supplies, and I don't really think about them as any home decor at all. But within the last few months, I've tripped upon things that are clearly in the home decor realm that are on Amazon. A friend of ours from Little Farmstead, Julie, she did a whole post on those French market baskets on Amazon. And now this is,
wow.
Of course,
that's good to know, Kelly. I would not have thought of that.
She must
the Amazon marketplace is booming, booming, booming. So
it's a little scary actually, because I feel like at some point in the world, in time, maybe not in our lifetime, but at some point, maybe it'll be the only store ever. So it does scare me a little bit that way. It's a little too big, but let me tell you, I think that might have been the first time where it really dawned on me, like, wow, you can like French market baskets. Like you would think, you've got to get that in a specialty store or a special online shop that, sources them in France. Well, they are sourced by all these other individuals sometimes. It's not like Amazon's weaving these baskets or making these tables, right? So they are getting them from all these places.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I can just see them. 15 minutes of basket weaving. Everybody off your
computers.
Come on, everybody.
We got
because
4 more orders.
It's open to individuals. So when I had my shop, I sold some of my items through Amazon. So it is a way for people to sell things that have smaller boutique businesses. So
yes.
It's not just Amazon selling all of these things. It's a lot of individual
It's
sellers.
like a clearinghouse for that.
And the price point, because they, I think Amazon has a lot to say about, their pricing and whatnot. The pricing is so good.
Well, on Amazon, things sell by price. So if it's not priced right, it ain't going to sell.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today. And let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor. And I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health: potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT.
And here we're talking about inexpensive sources. I think you can go to places like Wayfair. That's just one.
Yeah.
One Kings Lane, I love. However, I like their $2,000 chair or whatever. But once in a while, I'll find something on there and think, what a great buy. Cause I think there are things tend to be higher end, but it's just like visiting one of those high end stores. Once in a while, you can find something little that you can think, oh, that's just awesome. And the price is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the other thing I want to mention on the pricing on getting inexpensive things is your anchor pieces. I guess I'm going to call them anchor pieces in your room. There's certain pieces that you probably do want to splurge on if you need to get exactly what you want, but you don't have to splurge on everything in the room.
That's
so
right.
I think part of it is knowing, and we have an episode on that we'll link to, what to splurge on, what not to splurge on.
Mm-hmm.
So if you splurge on the key items, then I think you can have this high-end look without spending a lot of money, because you're not going to do that with everything in the room. So part of it's just knowing what you should splurge on and what you don't really need to splurge on.
I think you're right, Anita. And I think that's my biggest tip today is I call it the high-low. And I do that with jewelry now. I just love.
And high-low meaning, explain what you mean.
I'm going to explain that with, I used to just be such a jewelry snob and only wear my real stuff. But now jewelry is made so beautifully that you can buy jewelry that looks like the real thing, and I mix it and no one knows. Now you do, but to look at, you wouldn't know. Same with decor. You can buy so many interesting, beautiful pieces that don't cost a lot of money. And if you mix it with your more expensive pieces, your foundation pieces, Anita, like you're talking about, no one will know. Developing that good eye, that's the secret. Developing an eye for champagne things.
Well, that's so true. And I love that you say that, because I tend to do that when I'm thrift shopping. And even if it's, and years ago when I was thrift shopping for clothing, when, I was wearing kind of all fun, funky, thrifted things in college and whatnot, you can scan. You go to the thrift store and they have those giant racks of clothing, right? So unless you have, 12 hours to go through, but if you just scan and you can look for the fabric, right? The color and the fabric.
Right.
And then you can use that discerning eye of yours and just sort of, narrow in on the good stuff, take it out, have a look at it. If it's something you like, great. If not, and just bypass the polyesters and the rayons and all of those other things. And then, as time has passed and my interest has turned different kind of clothing, but now my real interest and my passion is home decor, I can do the same thing, whether it be in a thrift store or home goods or something like that. There's definitely champagne or diamonds in the rough or in the mix, I should say, in all of those places.
Well, and there's things in my house that are expensive. I have a mirror that we must have been out of our mind, but we bought this. We had actually a mirror made out of this beautiful wood frame that I just couldn't live without. And it was like, I would have never done that today. But yet I've got this great, really expensive mirror. And if you put other things with it, I just have a lamp I got at Home Goods next to it. That mirror really elevates the lamp I have from Home Goods.
Right.
But the lamp I have from Home Goods has a great style to it. It's a very classic style. It's got a very interesting shade. And so that works because I know, okay, and it was a downright cheap lamp. But
so when people walk in,
beautiful.
They notice that amazing mirror that you have,
and makes
the focus is on that gorgeous mirror, and then maybe they don't notice the lamp, and then the assumption is, oh, that's with it. It must be expensive too.
A piece like that elevates everything else, as long as you don't put things that quote unquote look cheap. And that is my secret for decorating, for dressing, and now even for wearing jewelry.
I think that's a great.
Would you two agree that things tend to look more expensive in a solid than in a pattern?
I'm not going to say they look more elegant, I suppose, but also there's that longevity. So if you've got the pattern, it's going to probably feel dated at some point. And that's why a lot of times I do go with the solids, because, you can't tell whether it's from 1953 or 72 often.
Exactly.
Anita, that was the perfect answer. That was great. Ding, ding, ding. You may get tip of the day.
What?
Yes. This is only your second one, Anita. And I don't know.
It's,
definitely tip of the day. That's a great tip.
I think it's worthy for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think Anita's right. I think that solid pieces are more timeless and you can work with them. And their like I said, their longevity is so much longer. Oh gosh, Yvonne. They'll last a lot longer and they'll look up to date because they don't have any pattern. But, you can do other interesting things. Like if you have a chair that's a solid, depending on the kind of wood and the turn of the leg, and if it has any detailing on it, those are the things you want to look for, maybe instead of fabric.
Yes. Yeah, to jazz it up that way. Mm-hmm. I think of it like the little black dress. I tend to, I like solids better, and then just to bring in some POWs in the accessories, like we've said before. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a really great way to have your whole look have more of a champagne, elevated to a champagne level rather than a beer budget level. If you have primarily solids, and good fabrics, or in a solid, sometimes the fabric doesn't even have to be of such high quality.
Absolutely.
It can be, it can kind of look like a nubby linen, but it really isn't. Mm-hmm. And, mm-hmm. It costs, a third of what a real linen would cost. And also, I think overall, just less is more
it's so interesting
a classic
you say
saying
that.
Because it works, and because it always works. Mm-hmm. It works in home decor. It works in fashion. If you have less things, and obviously, if you have less things, it may even cost you less. I mean, sometimes, one thing, mm-hmm. like the Hope Diamond obviously costs a whole lot of money rather than a lot of costume jewelry. But you get what I'm saying. Just don't have a lot of clutter. Simplify it. Less things, a bigger impact, and that will go a long way to having a more expensive looking curated look in your
right.
That's a great word.
A quiet elegance. Mm-hmm. A quiet elegance is what I think of.
And
that's what you're getting with the solids.
That
and the
a beer
things.
Budget. Yep. That a beer budget, you can absolutely make things look like they're champagne. I think you can elevate everything because there's so many price points now, and and people are sort of rifting off the really expensive things. Even in fashion, we see this, that you can have a beautiful home on quite a tight budget.
Yeah, I think it's a great time to be decorating.
It is a great.
It's
you're
very
right.
true. There's so many sources and well-made things that, it's not. I mean, I remember when everybody in our circle started getting their first apartment, whether it be, right out of college or, they're in graduate school, or even some people were getting married early. And so they were their first, everything they had was from IKEA. There's nothing wrong with IKEA. And I like to take a field trip there once in a while, and you're like, oh, I can't believe this is
I love
this
IKEA.
Much money.
Yeah. We have to.
But when everything is like, assembled shelves and the platform bed that you had to put together, and everything looks mm-hmm. like that, mm-hmm. then you're kind of looking beer budgety. But if you mix in, a couple of those items with some other looks, or go off grid a little bit and do a little bit more work and a little more homework, and find these other sources that are making wonderful products at great prices, that you can certainly outfit your entire home.
Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free That's right, a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months.
I so agree with you. I so agree.
Yeah.
So, just because you have a tight budget doesn't mean you can't afford a beautifully decorated home. That's just not the case anymore.
No, and even if you have tons of money, like honestly, you don't have to spend it on your coffee table. Like take a
trip.
Go on Amazon and buy those nesting tables, and then take yourself on a
pay for your kids' education.
Right. And one of those things that we're talking
Send
about,
some kid to college.
the way that you have a more expensive look by spending less is, I think what Kelly touched on it is, don't put so much stuff in your house. When you overcrowd your house, even if you spend a lot of money on everything, it starts to look more like beer than champagne.
It does. Oh, it's so right. So right. Really good tips.
So just keep it curated, like we've been saying. Keep the best pieces, get rid of the rest of the pieces, and then you're going to have more of that quiet elegance. It's going to work together better. You're going to feel like you can breathe. It's going to be a better look.
Well, I can't think of a better note to end on. That was really well said, Anita. Tip of the day and very nice closing. Kudos to you, Anita. So thanks to everybody for listening in today. Don't forget to pop over to modcloth.com and use DTT for 30% off your order of 100% or more. And remember that we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Hey there, if you're loving our podcast like we're loving our podcast, we would love you to rate and review us. Head to iTunes to do that. It's easy and it would mean so much to us.